A council's mistake. The Galactic Preservation Council had one simple rule: never colonize a Category 5 death world. It seemed straightforward enough. After all, 300 civilized species and followed this guideline for over 10,000 cycles without incident. So when Survey Team Delta 9 discovered planet designation VX7734, they ran their standard protocols. Beautiful blue oceans covering 70% of the surface. Check. Oxygen-nitrogen atmosphere within acceptable ranges. Check. Moderate temperatures across most continental regions. Check. Abundant plant life and diverse ecosystems. Check. The planet scored a solid Category 2 garden world. Perfect for colonization, safe for recreation, ideal for research stations. They called it Verdania and opened it to the entire galactic community. That was their first mistake. Dr. Kelleth's assignment. My name is Dr. Kelleth, and I am a xenobiologist from Tharn Prime. My species, the Tharni, are considered among the most intelligent in the known galaxy. We have 4 cognitive lobes, exceptional memory retention, and a natural aptitude for scientific analysis. We do not, however, have much in the way of physical strength. Our home world has zero point 0.8 galactic standard gravity, and our bodies are optimized for intellectual pursuits rather than manual labor. When I received my assignment to the Mu research station on Verdania, I was thrilled. A pristine garden world with thousands of undocumented species. It was a xenobiologist's dream. The station commander, a stern Vraxian named Thokmar, greeted our research team at the landing pad. The Vraxians are large, heavily armored beings who evolved from something like what humans would call armored beetles. Thokmar stood nearly 8 feet tall, his carapace gleaming in Verdania's gentle sunlight. "Welcome to Paradise Station," he announced, his translator rendering his clicking speech into galactic standard. "You will find Verdania to be everything promised. Beautiful, peaceful, and completely safe. Our security protocols are minimal because, frankly, there is nothing here that poses any threat to civilized beings." Over the next few days, I began to understand why he was so confident. The largest predator we had discovered was a creature about the size of a Tharni child, and it fed primarily on small rodent-like animals. The plant life was benign. The insects were minor nuisances at worst. The weather patterns were remarkably stable. It was, in every measurable way, a paradise. The human arrival. 3 months into our research rotation, I was analyzing soil samples in Lab 3 when the station-wide announcement crackled through the speakers. "Attention all personnel. We have received notification that a human survey team will be arriving within the hour. They are part of the new Human Integration Initiative. Please extend appropriate courtesy to our newest member species. Humans." I had heard of them, of course. Everyone had, ever since they achieved faster-than-light capability 5 cycles ago and made first contact. They came from a planet called Earth in an unremarkable star system, far from the galactic core. The initial reports had been curious. Humans were strange by galactic standards. They had only 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 eyes. Their homeworld had been given some classification, though I could not remember what it was at the moment. Something about higher oxygen content, I thought. But they had seemed friendly enough, enthusiastic, eager to join galactic civilization. The Council had welcomed them, of course, as they welcomed all spacefaring species who passed the basic criteria for membership. I went to the landing pad out of simple curiosity. A small crowd had gathered, perhaps 20 researchers and support staff. We watched as the human shuttle descended with remarkable smoothness, settling onto the pad with barely a vibration. The hatch opened and 5 humans emerged. My first thought was how small they were. The tallest stood perhaps 6 feet, which made them shorter than most species represented at the station. They wore simple uniforms in various shades of gray and blue, and they carried equipment packs that looked almost comically oversized on their frames. The lead human, a female with dark skin and hair bound into small braided sections, approached Commander Thokmar with a broad smile. "Commander, I'm Dr. Keisha Williams, xenoecologist. This is my team, Dr. James Park, Dr. Sophia Alvarez, Dr. Yuki Tanaka, and Dr. Marcus Okonkwo. Thank you for hosting us." Her voice had a musical quality. warm and friendly. She extended her hand in that peculiar human gesture of greeting, and Thokmar, clearly briefed on human customs, carefully touched her hand with one of his massive claws. "Welcome to Verdania," Thokmar rumbled. "I trust you will find our facilities adequate." "I'm sure they'll be perfect," Dr. Williams replied. "We're excited to see what Verdania has to offer. Earth's biosphere is unique to us, so every new world teaches us something valuable." Questions begin. Over the following weeks, I found myself working alongside Dr. Williams frequently. We were both studying the local ecosystem, though from different angles. I focused on microbiology and chemical processes, while she studied larger ecosystem relationships and predator-prey dynamics. She was brilliant, there was no question about that. Her observations were sharp, her analyses thorough, but there were moments when she said things that puzzled me deeply. One afternoon, we were examining a local plant species near the forest edge, about 2 kilometers from the station. The plant had evolved an interesting defense mechanism, producing a mild irritant that caused itching in most species. "Fascinating," Dr. Williams said, carefully collecting a sample. "It's almost like earth nettles, but the chemical composition is completely different. Convergent evolution is amazing." "You have plants like this on Earth?" I asked, surprised. Garden worlds rarely evolved aggressive plant defenses. "Oh, sure. We have plants with much worse defenses. Some inject painful toxins, some cause severe allergic reactions. Some are poisonous if you eat them. You learn to be careful hiking through Earth's forests." I blinked my 3 eyes in confusion. "Your planet has dangerous plants?" "Well, yeah. I mean, nothing that will kill you immediately, unless you're really unlucky or really stupid. But Earth's ecosystems are competitive. Everything evolves defenses." Before I could pursue this line of questioning, Dr. Park called out from about 50 meters away. "Hey, Keisha, check this out." Dr. Williams stood smoothly and jogged toward him. Jogged. We were nearly 2 kilometers from the station. We had been working for 3 hours in Verdania's afternoon heat, and she moved like she had just started her day. I followed more slowly, my lungs working hard. The Tharni are not built for sustained physical activity. When I reached them, Dr. Park was peering excitedly at tracks in the soft soil. "Predator prints. Probably that cat analog species we cataloged last week. 3-toed, pad structure indicates ambush hunter." "Beautiful," Dr. Williams breathed, kneeling beside the tracks. "They're so clear it must have passed through here recently." Commander Thokmar, who had accompanied us for security purposes, moved closer. "It is nothing to concern yourselves with. The creature weighs perhaps 30 kilograms. Hardly a threat." Dr. Williams glanced up at him with an odd expression. 30 kilos? That's about 65 pounds. That's a decent-sized predator. On Earth, Dr. Park added casually, predators that size have killed humans. Not often, but it happens. Leopards, cougars, wolves. You have to respect predators. Thokmar's translator crackled with what might have been amusement. "Dr. Park, with respect, you are confusing me. Earth is classified as a Category 2 garden world, the same as Verdania. How could such small predators pose any threat to a sapient species?" The 2 humans exchanged a glance, and something passed between them, something that looked almost like concern. "Commander," Dr. Williams said slowly, "who classified Earth as Category 2? "The Survey Council. Naturally. All newly contacted homeworlds are assessed using standard protocols. Did they actually visit Earth? Or did they rely on data we provided?" Thokmar's carapace plates shifted slightly, a Vraxian gesture of uncertainty. "I would need to check the records. Why do you ask?" Dr. Williams stood, brushing soil from her knees. "Commander, I think there might have been a miscommunication. Earth isn't a Category 2 world." "Then what is it?" She met his eyes steadily. "Earth is classified as Category 4 by our own standards. We didn't realize the galactic classification system worked differently until just now." The forest suddenly felt very quiet. "Category 4, Thokmar repeated slowly. "That is impossible. Category 4 worlds are death worlds. Extreme gravity, hostile chemistry, mega predators, catastrophic weather systems. You were telling me Earth is..." "Commander," I interrupted, my scientific training overriding my shock. "What is Earth's actual gravity rating?" Dr. Williams turned to me. "1 Earth gravity is our baseline, obviously. What's galactic standard?" I pulled out my datapad and ran the conversion. The number that appeared made my lens go weak. "Galactic standard is 0.84 Earth gravities," I whispered. You have been operating under 16% additional gravity this entire time, and you never mentioned it. Commander Thokmar immediately called an emergency meeting in the station's main conference room. Within the hour, every senior researcher and security officer was present. The 5 humans sat on one side of the table, looking uncomfortable but not defensive. The rest of us filled the other seats, our confusion evident. Dr. Williams, Thokmar began, his voice carefully controlled. Please explain exactly what you meant earlier, in detail. Dr. Williams nodded, activating her portable display. An image of Earth appeared, rotating slowly, beautiful blue and white with green and brown continents. Earth is our homeworld, she began. We evolved there over millions of years. It's the only frame of reference we have for what constitutes normal. When we made first contact and received the Galactic Survey protocols, we filled them out honestly. But I think now that there were some critical misunderstandings. She pulled up a datasheet. Earth's gravity, 1.0 by our measure, which equals approximately 1.19 galactic standard. Surface pressure, 1 Earth atmosphere, which is higher oxygen content than most civilized world. Temperature range, -90 to +58 Celsius in natural conditions. The room erupted in shocked murmurs. That temperature range, I said, my voice shaking. That spans 148 degrees. Most garden worlds have ranges of perhaps 40 degrees. Earth has extreme axial tilt and varied geography, Dr. Park explained. We have polar ice caps and equatorial rainforests, desert regions and tundra. Mountain ranges that reach 9 kilometers above sea level. 9 kilometers, breathed a Polonian researcher. The atmospheric pressure differential. We adapt, Dr. Alvarez said simply. Humans live permanently at high altitudes. We acclimatize. Our bodies produce more red blood cells to compensate for thinner air. Dr. Williams continued. Earth experiences regular catastrophic weather events. Hurricanes with winds exceeding 300 kilometers per hour. Tornadoes, tsunamis, earthquakes that can level cities, volcanic eruptions, floods, droughts, wildfires that burn for months. And your predators? Thokmar asked, his voice quiet now. We have land predators weighing over 300 kilograms, Dr. Okonkwo said. Ocean predators exceeding 5,000 kilograms. Predators with venom that can kill a human in minutes. Predators that hunt in coordinated packs. Ambush predators, pursuit predators. Even some of our herbivores are dangerous. We've had people killed by everything from insects to large mammals. But you survived, I said, fascinated despite my growing horror. Your species not only survived, but thrived enough to develop civilization. We're adaptable, Dr. Williams said. We're persistent. Humans are endurance hunters. We can track prey for days. We can survive injuries that would kill most creatures. We heal quickly. We can go without food for weeks if necessary, without water for days. Our immune systems fight off thousands of different pathogens. We have thick skin, redundant organ systems, and we're very, very hard to kill. She paused, looking around the table. We didn't realize other species weren't like this. We thought everyone evolved under similar pressures. The sky changes. The meeting was still processing this information when the station's weather alert system activated. A pleasant chime, nothing urgent. Attention, the automated voice announced. Local weather monitoring indicates an approaching storm system. Predicted rainfall of 5 to 8 millimeters over the next 2 hours. Please secure any sensitive outdoor equipment. Everyone relaxed. 8 millimeters of rain was nothing. Barely worth noting. The humans, however, had gone very still. That's all? Dr. Park asked. Just rain? Yes, Thokmar confirmed. Why? What's the wind speed prediction? Perhaps 20 kilometers per hour. Standard for local weather patterns. The humans exchanged glances again, and I was beginning to recognize that look. It was the expression of people who had just realized something important. Commander, Dr. Williams said carefully, on Earth, we wouldn't even call that a storm. That's just light rain. A real storm has winds of at least 60 kilometers per hour. Heavy precipitation, lightning, sometimes hail. Verdania doesn't experience such extreme weather, I explained. That's part of why it's classified as a garden world. The climate is stable, predictable, safe. Dr. Tanaka, who had been quiet until now, spoke up. Her specialty with atmospheric science. Dr. Kelleth, what's the average temperature differential between Verdania's equator and poles? I pulled up the data. Approximately 15 degrees Celsius. On Earth, it's over 60 degrees. That differential drives our weather systems. The energy transfer between temperature zones creates massive air movements. Verdania's weather is calm because there's relatively little energy in the system. Exactly, Dr. Williams said, which means Verdania's ecosystems never evolved to handle extreme conditions. The life here is optimized for stability, as is all life on garden worlds. Thokmar said, sounding defensive now. That is the definition of a garden world. Right, Dr. Williams agreed. But don't you see? That makes Verdania's ecosystem incredibly fragile. A disruption that would be normal on Earth could be catastrophic here. The real storm. As if the universe wanted to prove her point. That's when things went wrong. It started with the weather station's emergency alarm, the real one. Not the pleasant chime, but the harsh klaxon that meant actual danger. Warning, the automated system blared. Anomalous weather formation detected. Storm system has intensified unexpectedly. Current wind speeds 45 kilometers per hour and rising. This exceeds all historical weather patterns for this region. All personnel returned to the station immediately. Through the conference room's windows, we could see the sky darkening with unnatural speed. The gentle breeze had become a strong wind, bending trees that had never evolved to handle such forces. This is impossible, Thokmar said, already moving toward the command console. Verdania doesn't have weather like this. It does now, Dr. Tanaka said grimly, pulling up her own atmospheric data. Look at this thermal gradient. Something's changed in the upper atmosphere. Maybe it's natural variation that your short observation period hasn't captured yet. Or maybe. She trailed off, studying the numbers. Maybe what? I demanded. Maybe introducing multiple new species to the ecosystem has had unforeseen effects. Carbon dioxide levels are up 0.03% from baseline. That's tiny, but on a world with such stable systems, even small changes could cascade. The wind hits 60 kilometers per hour. Outside, I could see several of the local tree analogs beginning to snap. They had never needed to develop deep roots or flexible trunks. Why would they, on a world where the wind never blew hard? We need to secure the research stations, Thokmar ordered. All exposed equipment must be brought inside. I'll go, Dr. Williams said immediately. No, Thokmar said firmly. It's too dangerous. We'll wait until... Commander, with respect, I'm from Earth. 60-kilometer winds are what we call breezy. I've worked in much worse. Let me help. Before he could argue further, Dr. Park, Dr. Alvarez, and Dr. Okonkwo were already heading for the airlock. We'll get the atmospheric sensors from the east field, Dr. Park called back. Though to the most expensive equipment, right? And they were gone, jogging into what the rest of us considered a catastrophic storm. Through the window, I watched in amazement. The 4 humans moved through the wind as if it were barely there. They didn't struggle, didn't stagger. They worked quickly and efficiently, gathering delicate scientific instruments, while the rest of us could only watch from safety. A tree cracked and fell, directly toward Dr. Alvarez. She heard it, looked up, and simply moved aside. The tree crashed down exactly where she had been standing 2 seconds earlier. She didn't panic, didn't freeze. She just adjusted her path and continued working. Impossible, Thokmar whispered. Their reaction time is normal for Earth, Dr. Tanaka said quietly. She had remained in the conference room, watching her colleagues. We evolved dodging predators, avoiding falling rocks, escaping disasters. Fast reflexes are survival traits for us. The storm peaked at 75 kilometers per hour, which the automated system kept calling unprecedented and catastrophic. To the humans, it was apparently a Thursday afternoon. They brought in all the exterior equipment, helped secure the local wildlife research pens, and even reinforced some of the native vegetation around the station with support poles. All in weather that had every other species sheltering indoors. When they finally came back inside, slightly wet but otherwise unbothered, the conference room was silent. Dr. Williams wrung water from her hair. Sorry about that. We probably should have asked permission before heading out, but it looked like time-sensitive equipment. I couldn't find words. You function normally in conditions that would incapacitate most of us. Dr. Kelleth, she said gently, this is what we've been trying to explain. Earth made us tough. We didn't realize other species weren't the same way because we had no reference point. We thought everyone could do what we do. Commander Falkmar's carapace plates were vibrating with what I had learned was Vraxian distress. The Survey Council must be informed immediately. If Earth is truly a Category 4 world and humans are a Category 4 species, then everything changes. Dr. Williams finished. We're not the gentle newcomers you thought we were. We're survivors from a world that tried to kill us every single day. She looked around at all of us, her expression serious but not apologetic. We don't want to frighten anyone. We're not aggressive or warlike, but we are durable. We're persistent. We heal fast, we adapt quickly, and we don't quit easily. That's what Earth taught us. The storm raged outside for another 3 hours before finally subsiding. In that time, I watched through the window as the 5 humans went back out repeatedly, rescuing injured local wildlife, stabilizing damaged station infrastructure, doing work that should have required a full team of specialists in heavy protective gear. They did it in light rain jackets, laughing and joking with each other like it was a fun adventure. By the time the weather cleared, everyone on Verdania Station understood the truth. Humans weren't delicate newcomers who needed protection. They were something else entirely. They were survivors from a world so harsh that other species called it a death world. And they had come to the stars carrying all those adaptations with them, hidden in small frames and friendly smiles. We had invited them to paradise, never realizing they came from hell, and they had found paradise a bit boring.